Alright legends, welcome back to the HamSliceGaming channel. Today, we're booting up Cyberpunk 2077 because, well, it was on discount and I'm cheap. Now, I remember when it first came out and it was riddled with bugs. Supposedly, they fixed that, but I'm gonna have to say that they definitely did not. We start in character creation. I tell myself, I'm gonna make this look exactly like me. Yeah, about that. What I actually create is an abomination. This thing is less main character and more experimental surgery gone wrong, with just a couple extra steps. The hair is some cursed mashup of 3 different colours, like the barber got jump scared mid-fade. I've got random cyberware slapped on my face, like I installed a carbon wing on my so I guess I never have to worry about lift. And then the nose. The nose is huge, not just big, I'm talking government recognized landmark. You could land a Carvo AV on that thing. If I lean too far forward, Night City's gravity should just reset. I'm there nudging sliders going, yeah, that's kinda accurate. Meanwhile, my character's side profile looks like he should be permanently falling forward. Anyway, we lock it in, no going back. I've built an absolute monster and given it my name. I picked Street Kid because obviously I'm not climbing the corporate ladder and I'm definitely not touching sand in the Badlands. I want to be knee deep in crime, neon, and bad decisions, just like my content schedule. We load in, fade from black, and the very first thing that happens, I have to fix my broken nose. Immediately, no warm-up, no tutorial, just straight into reconstructive surgery in a dirty bar, which, to be fair, is pretty on brand for my life choices. But honestly, with the size of this thing, I'm not surprised it's broken. I probably just leaned forward in the mirror to check out my cyberware and headbutted my own reflection. The game's trying to imply I got into a fight, but realistically, I just bumped it doing my skincare routine. V's standing there, holding an absolute beak of a nose and thinking, bro, with a nose this big, I don't actually need street cred. I just turn sideways and block the line of sight. So I grab it, crack it back into place, like I'm snapping a glow stick, and boom, we're ready to hit Night City, smelling trouble from 3 districts away. I stumble around this grimy little bar that screams, you will definitely get tetanus from the pool table. I'm chatting with the bartender, doing the classic street kid thing, where every conversation ends with a crime. He's like, you look like shit V, I am now insecure. After some shady small talk, I get roped into helping him with his little problem. Because of course, every little problem in this city involves guns, stolen cars, and a mild risk of dying in a dumpster. That's how we end up at the start of the Street Kids storyline, trying to steal a luxury car that costs more than my nose reconstruction surgery. Enter Jackie Wells. As I'm attempting to jack the car, I'm interrupted. Jackie points a gun at my head. Now, if a random gun points a gun in my head in real life in an alley, I'd cry, apologize, and offer to subscribe to his YouTube channel. But in Night City, it's just how people say hello. Jackie's like, get out of the car, cabron. And I'm like, homie, with this nose, if I move too fast, I'm going to deploy the airbag. Let's all just be calm. We have a tense little standoff, trading threats, and before anyone can commit to the bit, NCPD pulls up like they've set us up. We both get bagged and tossed into a police cutscene where they treat us like criminals. Not sure what that's about. I was purely just sitting in the seat to simulate a seat warmer. I guess they didn't like my excuse as they rough us up, threaten us,
broken so this trash doesn't float.
And then some shady suit tells them to let us go so that it doesn't go to trial. I feel that lawyers are expensive and not exactly easy to deal with. Nothing says you're about to get dragged into something bigger than surviving purely because it was convenient to the plot. Next thing we know, time skip, and suddenly that guy who pulled a gun on me, he's my best friend. That is some sort of character development. We get this montage of V and Jackie's friendship, speedrunning its way through Night City, boosting cars, and not successfully returning them, dodging bullets from people who look somehow worse than me, and running odd jobs for fixers who definitely pay in exposure and trauma, and hitting Ripperdocs like they're drive-through for cybernetics, because they are. There's noodles on balconies, near-death escapes, and enough sketchy gigs to get us both banned from life insurance forever. Not really sure how it works in this universe. Like, I mean, when I go to Harvey Norman, I get an appliance warranty, so I guess that's what they get here? Anyway, just like that, Jackie goes from guy who pulled a gun on me to I would absolutely die for this man. He cracks jokes, and you just know that this is the emotional support for the game. Like, to be honest, at this point, Jackie is like the only thing keeping V going. I wouldn't know what V would do if he were to leave Night City. Jackie rolls up, I'm in his car, and he's hyping up the job while Teabag chimes in over the comms. Before we even reach the building, the game slaps me with a tutorial, like it doesn't trust me to walk and breathe at the same time. They load me into some combat training sim, movement, shooting, hacking, the works. I begrudgingly run through the basic stuff, jump, crouch, shoot, don't die. Then it offers me a stealth tutorial and I'm like, absolutely not. I refuse. Stealth to me is a rumor, a myth, government propaganda. I have never once seen stealth exist in a video game for about more than 4 seconds before I start blasting, so I skip it. The game's like, are you sure? And I'm like, listen mate, if God wanted me to be sneaky, he wouldn't have given me a nose that clips through door frames. We exit the tutorial, pull up to this absolute crackdown of an apartment block, lights flickering, gunshots at the distance, the whole place just screams, you are not getting your bond back. We breach the building, sweep through corridors full of confused scavengers, and this is where I regret skipping stealth, as I immediately alert the entire postcode. Jackie's behind cover, yelling, T-Bug's in my ear, trying to sound professional, and I'm barrel rolling down this hallway like a caffeinated bowling ball with a gun. We finally clear the room, and there she is, our target, floating naked in a bathtub full of ice and stolen cyberware dreams. Wired up to some sketchy equipment, I get told to jack in, and I think to myself, are we sure this is the best time to do this? Turns out, it's not what I thought it was, and I'm relieved, as my video is not going to get age restricted. We yank out the cables, stabilize her, and then I have to carry her to the balcony like some scuffed Cyberpunk lifeguard, while barking into the comms for a trauma team. These guys show up like paramedic John Wick, in powered armor, guns drawn, medtechs barking orders like we're the inconvenience on their day. They scan her, shove us out of the way, and evac her like she's some VIP and we're just unpaid interns. 2 seconds flat and they're gone, leaving us standing in a trashed apartment full of bullet holes and regrets. Job done, paid in eddies, XP, and a fresh dose of this city does not care about you. After the rescue, Jackie drops me home. I swing by Victor the Ripperdoc for some fresh chrome, pretend I absolutely can't afford any of this, and walk out with more cyberware and less dignity. I grab a new pistol from a gun shop downstairs, admire my reflection in an elevator. I still have a massive nose, dead eyes, fresh optics, and tell myself this is what progress looks like. We wake up later in V's apartment, which is like a studio flat got into a bar fight with a storage unit. I'm surrounded by clutter, bad lighting, and existential dread. You know, gamer core aesthetic. My hollow rings, it's Jackie. And when Jackie calls, you answer. I don't care if you're sleeping, showering, or mid-breakdown because your last 3 uploads flopped. You pick up, he's got a gig, big money V, serious crew, serious fixer. I mean, what could go wrong? We get introduced to Dexter DeShawn, the fixer, equivalent of LeBron James, I guess. This man rolls up with gold chains, sunglasses indoors, power move, or tactical incompetence, I'm not too sure. And the exact vibe of someone who says, trust me, right before putting rounds of 366 in your mags instead of 762x39. Total tosser. Dex tells us about the score. We're hitting Konpeki Plaza, Arasaka's luxury hotel where rich people go to drink aged whiskey and roleplay as functional human beings. The target is the Relic, a prototype biochip that's priceless, experimental, and probably violates 10 different laws of both man and nature. To get it, we need a high-end robot from Maelstrom, the Flathead, intel from Braindance, courtesy of Judy and Evelyn, and the willingness to commit several acts of terrorism while wearing a suit. So I guess, a normal Tuesday. First stop, Maelstrom. These guys are cyber psychos who confuse themselves for snakes, as they shed their skin, but then they forgot that they couldn't grow it back. Honest mistake. They have metal everywhere and glowing eyes. We're negotiating for a stolen flathead bot, and it goes about as well as you'd expect when everyone in the room has more chrome than personality. You can try to pay them, trick them, or side with Militech, or just start blasting. Personally, I say I'm just gonna do this smart, stealthy, and diplomacy first. And then 5 minutes later, I'm crouched behind a crate throwing grenades like party favors. Jackie's behind cover, laughing, shouting stuff in Spanish. Somehow, and I do mean somehow, we come across a psycho in a mech suit and a shield. Like, I didn't realize that Iron Man was in this game, but I easily counter him by playing Ring Around a Rosie with a pillar, which, to my current opinion, is possibly the biggest counter to an NPC, a brain. Then comes the brain dance section with Judy and Evelyn, where we hop into someone else's memories like a full sensory VR experience. Possibly a lot of people's greatest wish in life, but not mine. Mine is to own a castle with a lava moat, cause, you know, that would be sick. Anyway, it's basically CSI Night City, except you're both the detective and a traumatized viewer. We review intel on Konpeki Plaza, tag cameras, trace security paths, and all that. Pay attention, this matters later. Stuff that I absolutely forget in favor of making bad jokes. Finally, the prep's done. Dex gives us the green light. It's heist time. Night of the job, we link back up with Jackie, and this is where it hurts. My man's in a suit, clean fade, looking sharp as hell, like a reformed criminal going to his cousin's wedding. After all, he's all excited, hyped, and talking about the big score, his mum, Misty, and future plans. The full, after this, everything changes speech. You already know, whenever a character in a game starts talking about their future, they definitely don't have one. Jackie's vibing, hyping us up, and making plans, and I'm sitting there like, this is definitely fine. Nothing about this feels like emotional foreshadowing at all. We arrive at Konpeki Plaza, peak corpo decadence, marble floors, chrome pillars, stuff that looks like they'd call security if you breathe too loud. We check in under fake identities, act like we belong there, which is hilarious because my street kid V certainly doesn't fit in. We head up to the room, deploy the flathead, and suddenly we're doing tech support for a spider bot inside the vents. The plan is simple: sneak the flathead through the ducts, disable cameras, turrets, and laser grids, break into Yorinobu Arasaka's penthouse, swipe the relic, and walk out rich and alive. For about 5 glorious minutes, it actually works. We sneak into Yorinobu's suite, admire the absurd level of luxury, and grab the relic from the high security fridge. Because of course, that priceless experimental biochip is being stored like expensive leftovers. Then the game looks at us and goes, alright, enough fun. You cannot have a video game without a little bit of motivation. Arasaka's big boss, Saburo, suddenly shows up. With him, his son, Yorinobu, the guy we're robbing. Jackie and I scramble up the little hidey hole above the room like stressed possums and watch the whole scene go down. Saburo absolutely unloads on Yorinobu, calls him weak, unworthy, a disappointment, basically skipping straight to the greatest hits of how to ruin your child's mental health. Yorinobu doesn't just take it, he snaps and then kills his father, just flat out murders the head of Arasaka in his own penthouse. Jackie and I are just up there like, wow, crazy. Anyway, we should leave, like right now. Which in hindsight, still sounds like a great idea. Alarms start going off, security storms the place, Yorinobu blames us, mercs, ghosts, angry pigeons, anyone but himself. Which is awfully convenient, but I mean, I guess we were breaking in. Konpeki Plaza goes into lockdown faster than my social credit when a little rum is involved. Dex is yelling in our ear, we're scrambling, and the sneaky heist suddenly turns into a run or die, which is becoming a reoccurring theme for me. At what point does it stop becoming a coincidence? We fight our way through guards, drones, and use enough bullets to write my name in the wall. We finally reach the top, trying to get to the extraction point. Arasaka's AVs show up, things explode, and in the chaos, the relic case gets damaged. This priceless, delicate, experimental biochip has just been through more physical strength than me on leg day at the gym. Jackie makes a call, he slots the relic into his own head. No hesitation, no second guesses, just big, dumb, beautiful loyalty. Gotta protect that chip, V. I'm there like, bro, we just shoved unlicensed brain malware into your skull. This feels not ideal, but there's no time to argue. We crash our way out of Konpeki in a blaze of chaos and somehow make it to the back of the Delamain cab. Night City's sassiest self-driving Uber. Like, this guy makes Cat look like a Walkman. And then it hits. Jackie's not okay. He's bleeding, pale, holding his side, trying to keep his voice steady. He's talking about his mum, Misty, the food he wants to eat, the plan he still has. You can hear it. He knows. You know. But he just keeps talking anyway. Like, if he just says, we've made it enough times, the universe will agree. Shock, this isn't a fairy tale. He hands you the chip, the relic, and tells you it's your score now. Your future, your legend. He smiles, and then he just stops. Just like that. No overdramatic speech. No miraculous save. Just a guy you've come to love bleeding out in the back of a robot taxi while Night City's neon lights flicker past like nothing happened. Delamain calmly breaks the silence with a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? Destination reached. And I'm here sitting like, bro, I just wanted to roleplay as a street kid with a massive nose. Why am I listening to a chicken joke? You stumble out with the chip, the guilt, and more emotional damage. Dex is waiting, the city's still buzzing. Nobody cares that you just watched your friend die. Welcome to Night City. You wanted to be a legend, cool. First, it takes your friend, and then it comes for you.
Remember our first convo?
I'll fucking kill you!
Seems I've chosen the quiet life after all. No blaze of glory for me.